Hey everyone, it's Matt here from Greatness Every Day, and in this video I want to talk to you about how waking up at 5 a.m. every day for 1 month has changed my life. And that isn't a clickbait title, I really mean that. The lessons that I've learned and the experiences that I gained over those 30 days are going to be something that I incorporate into my future months, into my future years, and I'm going to reveal those exact steps that I'm going to be taking for the future at the end of this video, so make sure you watch the entire video. And if you like content, if you like encouragement and motivation that you can use to live your greatest life possible, make sure that you click the subscribe button down below and tap that bell to be notified when a new video comes out. So let's get started by talking about ultimately why I decided to do this challenge, because it isn't something that most people decide to do, if I'm being completely honest. The average person does not wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, although I think the average person should, just because of the experience that I had. So let's flash back to March 31st. March 31st, I went ahead and I decided to read a new book, and that new book was The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. Own Your Morning, Elevate Your Life. I said, hey, that's a really interesting title. That's a really interesting subtitle. I did some more research and discovered a little bit about Robin Sharma, and to see that he is wildly successful in what he does and his teachings. And there's obviously a lot of value that he provides for people. So I said, hey, that next month of April is starting tomorrow. I'm starting to read this book now. It talks about waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Why don't I go ahead and actually wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning while reading the 5 a.m. Club? It only makes sense. So that is ultimately why I decided to do that. And from the experience that I had is it was awesome. I had a lot of fun doing this. There's a reason that I did. Well, number one, I was way more focused when I woke up in the morning. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I had a lot more motivation. I had a lot more specificity to what I was going to be accomplishing throughout my day. So that was my experience for sure. I was way more productive with the work and the quality of work that I got done throughout the month, whether I'm talking about my side project here with Greatness Every Day, my professional projects that I have obviously to do with my job, and just in general in life. So I think there was some huge payoffs for that. That was my experience. I found that I woke up more rested as well, which I'm not sure everybody that does the 5 a.m. Club to what quality they do it, but I found for me, I was more rested, I was more focused, I had more energy throughout my days as well. So that is a little bit about my experience with that. I'm going to go ahead and say as well, like some of the things that helped is I really noticed that I prioritized my sleep, because I needed to, right? If I was waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning and going to bed at midnight, for example, that's not going to be good, because I'm going to be fatigued as time goes on. It's like a sleep bank. You're losing those hours, and they continuously add up, ultimately contributing to the amount of fatigue that we have in our lives. And that was something that I knew with all the commitments that I have professionally and just personally, I would not be able to live up to if I didn't prioritize my sleep. So that is one of the things that helped me throughout this month. I really went ahead and I started going to bed at 10 o'clock and waking up at 5. And then I said, hey, I really need to make sure that I prioritize more sleep. And so I started going to bed around 9:15 and trying to fall asleep as early as I possibly could to get as close to 8 hours as I should get. So that is a little bit about one of the things that helped for me. I also discovered that morning routines and night routines became super important for me. And the book talks about this. I've talked about it a lot here on my YouTube channel and on Instagram and my podcast and places like that. So it shouldn't be anything new, but I did try something new that the book outlines. The book outlines the 20-20-20 method, and I'd really encourage you to try this regardless of if you wake up at 5 a.m. or not. But the 20-20-20 method is 3 spaces, obviously, in the first hour that you wake up, the power hour of your morning. You wake up and you should first go ahead and do 20 minutes of intense exercise. This gets the blood pumping, this wakes you up, and so many other things. It gets your energy levels lasting throughout the day. So I'd really encourage you to go ahead and do that. And obviously the many benefits of exercise I do not need to go into here in this video. The second 20-minute session is going ahead and really doing some reflection, having a time of reflection. So for me, I went ahead and I would write in my journal. I'd set my intentions for the day, say my gratitudes, go ahead and develop an affirmation, something that I believed in. And then from there, after those 20 minutes, maybe I would put a little bit of prayer in that. Some people like to meditate and things like that. But the third session would ultimately involve some growth. You'd be learning, essentially, is what it is. And that was really the 20-minute period or longer that I would go ahead and I would read the 5 a.m. Club. Or maybe I'd watch a YouTube video on something that I wanted to learn about, or learn it some other way. So that is the power hour. That is one of the other things that I really think you should incorporate if you decide to do the 5 a.m. challenge, whether you do it at 5 a.m. or you're just waking up, maybe you can't wake up at 5 a.m. That power hour and those 3 20-minute sessions are really something that you should be incorporating into your day-to-day life anyway. And the other thing I noticed was I really had to go ahead and schedule out my time. It's something that I enjoy doing. The night before is I always go ahead and really be strategic and schedule out blocks of time that I'm going to be working on different projects or meeting with people and things like that. The organization piece really made me prioritize the stuff that I had to do and make sure that in the end I could get to bed at an early time. So that is some feedback that I would give to you. One thing I will say is when I decided to do this month of waking up for 30 days at 5 a.m. I was committed to waking up at the 5 a.m. time every single day for those 30 days. But one of the challenges I had was it came to Easter weekend, about 3 weeks in, and I decided that, hey, I want to spend time with my sister who lives a few hours away. I want to spend time with my brother and his wife and my family and people that I care about. Right? So I decided, I made the conscious decision that it's not as important to just commit to the challenge and just do it each and every day, which is still important. And I did a really good job of that. But what is most important is understanding why I'm doing this challenge. And for me, I'm doing this challenge to grow personally. I'm doing this challenge to be more productive and increase and develop better habits that are going to help me elevate my life and meet the goals that I'm chasing after, that I'm running after. So I understood my why, and that was a really important lesson for me. But that did come with the challenge of not wanting to wake up at 5 a.m. for 3 days over the Easter weekend because I didn't want to miss out on the valuable time, because that stuff's important to me, as I was able to spend time with my family over the Easter weekend. So that was the challenge that I had. There are obviously challenges of when plans get canceled or plans get extended and things like that. That can shift around kind of your bedtime usually. So those are some challenges that I would really say, and just not wanting to miss out, or maybe you have to leave something because it's going too late. So those are some of the challenges that I had doing this, and that's something that I expect if you go ahead and do this 5 a.m. challenge on your own for a period of time, you're going to run into similar ones. So it's good for me to highlight those so you know that they're kind of coming. And where do we go from here? What does the future of mornings look like for me? I would really say that I enjoyed this challenge greatly, and I'm going to be incorporating basically everything. I'm going to be continuing to wake up at 5 o'clock, but with kind of like a little star to that, right? So I've talked about the alarm clock that I have here that simulates the sunrise. One of my challenges during this month was I didn't like waking up with an alarm clock on my phone, which was just an alarm kind of screaming at me. Instead, my alarm clock that I'm going to be using, and I've been using for a few months before starting this challenge, is a sunrise simulator. So basically with that, it simulates the sunrise over a 30-minute interval. So over the half hour, it wakes your body up as naturally as possible when your body is ready to be woken up. And I think that's really good, because I've noticed that there's so many benefits when I've been using this thing. So that is where I'm going. I'll be setting that for 5:30 and waking up any time between 5 a.m. and 5:30 when my body is ready. And that has many benefits to that, as I've talked about in the other video that's on our channel about that. So that is where the future goes. And the second thing about the future is it is okay, again, to not necessarily religiously wake up at 5 o'clock every single day for the rest of my life and not understand the why. The most important thing is I need to understand why I'm waking up, because the action is important, but the why is more important. And when you can merge and overlap those two, understanding why you do something and then taking actions towards that, that is where your life becomes elevated. And ultimately, I think that is really kind of where we figure out the keys to success, right? Understanding our why and taking the action with those things. So when an opportunity comes my way to hang out with friends, to go meet somebody or do something fun or interesting or something that I think will pay off, I'm not going to say no just because I have to wake up at 5 o'clock the next morning. So I'm going to be flexible with that, obviously given life, right? That's what we need to be able to do. But it is my priority to wake up early in the morning and start my day off right. That is the where I'm going with this. So I'd really like to hear from you. What do you think? Are you interested in waking up or trying to wake up at 5 a.m.? Do it for 2 weeks, do it for a whole month, do it for 3 months. I'd love to hear what you think, so go ahead and let me know down in the comments below. I also want to take this time to say, if you are interested in learning about habits and just more things related to how you can live your greatest life, I have a coaching program. It's called the Greater Habits Coaching Program. There are 6 sessions. 2 of them are individual, me and you. 4 of them are individual, but we're going to go ahead and really dive deep into some specific themes. We're going to look at the values that you have in your life and why you have them and how that should guide what you do. We're going to go ahead and look at the mindset that you need for success. We're going to go ahead and look at the habits of high performers, and then ultimately putting these things together. How do you build and structure your life around what your values are and your mindset and the habits that you can get the biggest return on your investment for? How do you build your life around those things to really elevate it and achieve the goals that you're chasing after? So if you are interested in that coaching program, I'm going to leave a link down in the video description below. Go ahead and click that link, reach out to me, send me a DM, comment below, and I'll reach out to you and give you that information. I'd love to have you join us. The videos that I make here on YouTube, the quotes and descriptions I post on Instagram are great. Those are things that I hope really encourage you. But when we get into the mentoring, when we get into the coaching program and things like that, that is ultimately where I believe the change is made. So let me know if you're interested in that, and I'd be happy to start that conversation with you. Let's go ahead and let you down below. Make sure you click the subscribe button and tap the bell to be notified when a new video comes out. Go check us out on Instagram and hit that thumbs up button if you like this video. Remember, choose greatness every day, and I hope you have a great week.